This is my review of the Goddesses and Sirens Oracle deck by Stacey DeMarco with illustrations by Jimmy Manton. If you're looking for a review of the Gods and Titans deck, then I do also have a review of that deck, the brother deck to this one, and if you're interested in purchasing them together, then I'd say definitely give both of these videos a watch. So, the Goddesses and Sirens deck, this is what the case of the deck comes in. This is what it looks like. This is the backing. Again, it's a 38 card deck. Jimmy Manton does the illustrations, and as I mentioned in the Gods and Titans video and the Isis Oracle video, I absolutely, for the most part, love his artwork. And it's really, really, I don't know, just you get involved in the artwork and it pulls you right in. And I am planning on getting a tattoo of an image from the Isis Oracle deck. That's how much I love his artwork. So, the guidebook that accompanies this deck is 146 pages long. Stacey DeMarco is a witch, metaphysicist, and spiritual teacher from Sydney, Australia. This is what the guidebook looks like, as you can see. And just like with the Gods and Titans deck, this guidebook is worth the investment. So this is a pricier deck. I believe even on Amazon it's a pricier deck. So it is an investment, but the guidebook alone is worth the investment. So I'm just going to show you, just like with the Gods and Titans deck, there's a little blurb which sums up the card for you and tells you why you drew the card that you drew. Then there's a whole section on the mythology, the stories of the goddess or siren. There's a section on the shadow side. There's a section for the symbols, and then underneath that is a ritual that you can use or be inspired by for use in your own spiritual practice. Whether you are a witch or a pagan or not, you can still use a lot of these rituals. So, really, really great guidebook, lots of information, help with getting comfortable with using it for divination, but also a lot of information to help you get to know the goddesses and the sirens that are in the deck as well, and whether their pantheons are one that you wish to work with. So I'm just going to say before I get into the cards that this deck really brings out the badass side of the goddesses, which we need more of in the Oracle deck community. And I said this about the masculine in the Gods and Titans deck as well. I just think that it's something that we really, really need. And I hope that we see more of it, because I'm just going to have to drink my iced chai while I can while Vincent's sleeping. Taking his little nap. We need more of that, more of the complete and whole picture of what it's like to be feminine divine or masculine divine, and just with spirit itself. And so I really, really appreciate that with these decks. So just like with the Gods and Titans deck, I don't like the backings to these cards at all. And it has kept me from using them a little bit. Again, I feel like we're kind of ripping off just, you know, different commercial things, which I don't really like. So I don't like the backing, and because I display my cards out on my altars, it has detracted from me using it until I really got into using these decks, and now I could care less. But if you're a visual person like me, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video because you're using Oracle or Tarot cards, just be aware that the backings, you might either love them or you might absolutely hate them. So just be aware of that. So I'm going to show you all the cards because there's only 38. This might be a two-part video, so I apologize if you're not into watching two-part videos. Just skip to wherever you want. I'm going to show you my favorite, my least favorite, and the ones that really didn't do anything for me. There's only one card in this deck that didn't do anything for me, so that just lets you know that there's a lot of really great, striking images in this deck. I'm going to start with the images that I loved. Gaia, creation. And I love the fact that in this deck you're going to get some goddesses that you don't normally see in goddess decks. This one makes me really, really, really happy. Baba Yaga's in here. Authenticity. This is so weird, but she just gives me the warm fuzzies. She really does. I love Baba Yaga. Don't care. Love her. Can't make me stop. Pomona, plenty. Oh, I love this one. Sekhmet, reduction. And I just love that image. My God, I love it. YEMAYA, hope. And I apologize if I'm saying the names wrong. Doing the best I can, just like we all do. Oya, power. So when I think of Oya, I actually see her like this. And so I was really excited that he went with an image like this. She's just so alive. And she's a little younger than I picture her, but I don't think that detracts from her in this deck. Freya, irresistibility. And this is not how I usually picture Freya, but I actually like this image. Very interesting. Okay, so this one might be one of my favorite images in this deck, and it's Lilith, equality. I love Lilith, one of the first goddesses I ever worked with. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Okay, Lakshmi, prosperity. Gonna say this name wrong? Strength. And I definitely get that feeling of strength from her. Perspective on the hands is a little bit off, but that's okay. Amaterasu, self-esteem. I love this one. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Oh, I love this image too, guys. White Buffalo Woman, peace. I love White Buffalo Woman or White Buffalo Calf Woman. And I just love that we get a Native American goddess in here. That means so much to me. If you watch my other videos and you know that I walk the medicine wheel every day, and it's such a large part of my spirituality, and so I'm so happy that we had a Native American goddess in here. Sirens, temptation. This is going to be a two-parter, guys, sorry. I love this one, Brihid, healing. So beautiful. So this card is really interesting, and I actually really like it. It's Katesh, pleasure. It's a good one. Newt, expansiveness, and I love this one too. Isn't that beautiful? Hekate, illumination. Okay, so this is in one of the ones that I really like, but the perspective on the hands is really off on this one. That's me being really picky, but just, you know, so you're aware if that bothers you. I have a wonderful friend who the perspective also bothers her, so we always have fun sharing that information with each other. Valkyries, redemption. Morgan Le Fay, magic. I love that one. It just feels so badass, and it makes me feel badass when I look at that one. I'm glad that Morgan Le Fay's in there. Helen of Troy, beauty. So kind of a different, you know, perspective of her, but I like it. Ixchel, release. I freaking love this image. Okay, it doesn't get any better than that. The Muses, inspiration. And I love that he did this in like sepia tones. Your colors are your own with them. Artemis, individuation. Love that image. I love this one too. Aphrodite, self-love. Oh, I love that one. Persephone, cycle. So at first I was like, this is a really interesting depiction of Persephone. Don't know if I like it, but I've actually really grown to like it and enjoy it a lot. And I think it's a depiction of Persephone that we've really lost for the most part, that she became a queen and a goddess in her own power, and she wasn't just the raped, fractured being that we tend to see her as. So I like that he depicts that in that image. Bast, play. I'm not quite sure where we get the idea of play from this image, but I just really love her face and the expression on it. Easter, new beginnings. And I totally get the feel of new beginnings with this card. And I did watch a few reviews on YouTube before I purchased this one. And they said, you know, oh, it doesn't make you think of new beginnings. I don't get where it is. I disagree because I see it in the egg shape. All of this is all new beginnings. Like, you totally see it. So I don't know. I totally get it from that, but perhaps you don't. Okay, this is like the most kick-ass depiction of Kali that I have seen yet to date in a deck, and I freaking love this one. Kali, fear. I mean, just like, and so if you take Shiva from the Gods Oracle deck and you put it right next to her, I mean, you just have like, it's just like a perfect complement for each other. But love that image. Boudicca, unity. Oh, I love this one too. Isn't that gorgeous? And So in one of the reviews that I watched, they hated the depiction of Sheila in a gig, and I actually love it. I just love it. I love the way Sheila in a gig looks in this. Gateways. I'm gonna get my hand out of the way there. Isn't that great? So those are my favorites. Here's the one I didn't really feel anything about, Joan of Arc, Faith. I don't know, it didn't do it for me either way. I didn't hate it though, didn't dislike it. So that's the one that I'm just like, okay. So here are the few that I didn't like. A lot less that I didn't like in this one than in Gods and Titans. So when I say didn't like, it doesn't mean I don't use them or I don't appreciate them. It's just the artwork isn't the same for me. HERA, Commitment. My gripe with these cards is pretty much the same for all of them. I just don't get commitment from this image. I don't get what, I mean, I guess I can see that HERA's pretty pissed, which was something that we take from her a lot in her story. But I just don't, I guess I don't really necessarily get it with HERA. So that one's not one of my favorites. Athena, Strategy. Okay, there's an owl in here, so of course I should absolutely love it. And I do love the depiction of the owl, but the perspective on her hands is just, like, it's all I can see is like her hands look huge in this, and her face is considerably smaller than her hand. So let's compare, right? Like, my hand isn't 2 times the size of my face. So that would be the only thing with Athena that I just don't quite there. But I love her mask, and I do love the depiction of the owl. So this one almost made it to my favorites. It's just the perspective on that really bothers me. Vesta, Home. Okay. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like Vesta to me. I think of something else when I think of Vesta. So for that one detracts a little bit when I draw that one. Ma, Justice. I don't know. Just doesn't do it for me. I don't really have an explanation. Kuan Yin, Compassion. So if you follow my other videos, then you know that Kuan Yin is one of my patronesses and whatever. And I work with her a lot, and I communicate with her daily, and she's really been there for me through a great deal, great deal, and has really been very supportive of me. And so I am biased. I do have an image in my mind when I see Kuan Yin, and this image is not an image of compassion to me. And I did see that in the other reviews that I watched on YouTube before I purchased it. So this wasn't a letdown for me because I knew that I wasn't going to love this one. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's really beautiful. The brush strokes and everything are gorgeous, but she kind of looks a little snooty to me. Like, so, you know, not like compassion and understanding for your situation. So that's why I don't really love that one. Here's Hathor, Contentment. So let me say that I love most of this image. I just don't get the expression on her face. I guess it just doesn't really feel like contentment to me. So the Isis in Gods and Titans was like, to me, like I loved. The image of Isis in this deck, I don't like at all. This is Isis. Again, it's the perspective thing. Her body is so huge and her face is so tiny right there. And I just don't, I guess I just don't really, that one doesn't scream Isis to me. So that's not one of my favorites in this deck. So those are the images. Let me talk about using them. I love using them in ritual. I love using them for the Sabbats and having the images on the altar. And if you've seen my spring altar, then you saw that I had Brehid on there. And I just love having them on there for that. I just think that they're amazing for that. So I'm gonna wrap this up really quickly because I only have a few seconds left. It's definitely worth the purchase, especially if you're looking for ways to get to know different pantheons and to get more involved with using goddesses in ritual. I definitely recommend this one, guys. If you're looking to purchase it, go ahead and do it. And let me know what you think of it if you have this deck already and what you think of it after you purchase it as well. I will see you in the next video. Bye.